It's November the 20th, 2016. I'm Dana, your host, nuclear proctologist, .org. And you can find our videos and Fukushima presentations throughout the internet. The show is about the shit that nuclear scientists say. And we have superstar Little D who will be joining us in a whole different way today. We welcome everybody. We introduce you to the main lies that like to be told by the propaganda machine that is your academics and media. Walking in sunshine to radiation is good for you. And it's more radiation on a plane or eating bananas and potato chips or in the mountains. Have you heard this narrative? Yeah? Really? Have you heard it this way before, though, is the question. And the question is a good question. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to walk on a different route today. Good morning to everybody in the comment section. Well, today's lineup, the 5th episode of the shit that nuclear scientists say, is going to be backwards compared to what people are generally used to. We're going to show you a skit that are 5 to 10 seconds long. And then we're going to show you the headlines. So let's just bang right into it, shall we? Radiation can't hurt a hair on your body. It won't make you sick. And all you got to do is smile. Which is the big lie, of course. In Fukushima, the radiation was causing people to puke uncontrollably and stripping the hairs from their body. My kids are not worried about radiation hurting their thyroid. They know it's like a banana, right, bananas? Sadly, 45% of the kids in this one study in 2011 right away. You can't get cancer if you use these new toilets. Got an internet connection, it'll post your shit to Facebook and Twitter. But not just cancer, how low doses of radiation can cause heart disease and stroke, and it does right away in a really bad way. I'm gonna switch. and then there's 6 times more breast cancer all around that power plant. Nuclear radiation is the most carcinogenic thing that exists, as the aliens are laughing at us. Just tell them it's like licking an iPhone like they done that whip last year. Right, that whip they told us was like licking an iPhone. You still can't get into the whip waste repository in New Mexico. IAEA today admitted there's no such thing as safe levels. It's actually dangerous to lick your iPhones because of the chemicals they used on it. Besides the fact you don't know where those fingers have been. Allowable radiation standards are based on benefit. So they're claiming homeostasis. Look it up. Homeostasis is where natural radiation is a part of everything. Man-made is a part of nothing, but now a part of everything. But man-made is carcinogenic. Hey, you guys never seen a big sign saying Max Fuel around here anywhere by chance, did you? Probably no. Nuclear physicist suspects number 3 spent fuel rods that spread out and contaminated the surrounding area of plutonium, and have made the statements that you can't return to those areas again. So in context of that, did Dave see any MOX fuel plants in that big expanse? If there was a MOX plant there, do you think it survived? You think it's still sitting there somewhere? No. Yeah, The kids says the radiation from Fukushima is pretty cool. They didn't like those schools. Now they don't gotta go back, you know? It's a good thing as far as the kids concerned. So they're talking about child's risk of cancer from radiation 10 to 100 times higher than it is for an adult who had the same exposure. And the adult has more volume, so the radiation has to travel further to get to the organs, the muscles, the bones, and everything else. Whereas with the children, it's not a protection, it's just it takes longer and the effects are more, because a child is developing, yeah? You think about these people, they're not going back. So milk is not just dangerous in protest, it's also dangerous if you drink it. Right. And so strontium was found in the milk. But strontium doesn't travel by itself. And just bear with me for 1 second. There's so much news going on today, barely keep up with it. And just bring up that other one. Dana, anytime you're ready. Where the hell was strontium? I can't remember. Over here? Yeah, so look at all the daughters of strontium. So when you look at strontium was found in the milk, did you consider that? Did you consider the strontium would have traveled with plutonium? It would have traveled with americium and all their daughters. It would have traveled with cesium and all their daughters. You would have had the reactors run on uranium, not strontium. Strontium's a byproduct. All of this, the other stuff is a byproduct of uranium-238. But you got to think about all the isotopes and all their daughters. Right? Every time you click on something, you expect that is also, all of that, has the potential to be in the milk, yeah? Radiation? No! Somebody was visiting Fukushima Prefecture and they lost their wedding ring last year, and we got 30 million bags picked up of the topsoil through it. All of Fukushima are going to shift through it and find that wedding ring. Yeah, it's a great thing. So rather than say they got a problem, just pretend that is for something different. Disinformation by the nuclear proponents try to confuse the public about the effects of external and internal radiation. See? Now, if I was actually there, I would be dead because the gamma shines, the X-rays, and neutrons. Well, of course, there's no damage. I mean, nuclear scientists told you there's not going to be no damage. You can't hurt these buildings. They're made of superstructures. There's literally zero damage. Everything is working. All the gauges. They're going to crank it up here tomorrow. Right, and that's what I heard. They're going to fire it back up. It looks like it's ready to go, yeah? U.S. News says there's no threat from the health effects because they're not admitting that happened. They're not admitting there's 30 million one-ton bags. They're not emitting all the other isotopes. The opposite of what radiation studies and cancer studies says. No, it's not radiation in the bags. It's, it was raining bananas and potato chips. They're dangerous, so we decided we'll put them in a bag until we can find, a suitable spot for them, yeah? Yeah, that makes more sense than the reality that the whole country is radiated. A nuclear policy expert, every amount of radiation exposure increases cancer risk. There's no safe levels. There's no safe levels, there's no safe levels, there's no safe levels, there's no safe levels. There's no safe levels, no matter how you try to spin it. It's just no safe levels. Good morning to everybody in the comment section. Hugs for everybody. I am Thirst. Oh, I didn't bring it up. Sorry. Illusion, Hyper, Nathan, Crystal, Ellie, Censor, Neil. Hello, everybody. Elaine is here. Elaine's moderating. She's been doing pretty lucky the last couple of streams. Not too rough on her. It's a tough job, and we love her for taking that challenge. Hello, everybody. CJ, anybody I missed, my apologies. Hemp Milk. I like that one. Illusion. Illusion got a video about Fukushima on the site. Just go over to Illusion is over. And you can watch that. You go over there anyway. Just for people who's watching it later when these comments will disappear, sadly, because of Google. Let's get on with it. Yeah, like, he got cancer because he forgot to wear a condom when he went to work that morning, you know? These guys got their condoms on, but you know, some guys won't wear them when they're going to work, right? So that story was a 40-year-old worker died of leukemia. 40 years old, had perfect health. But what happens is the buildings are putting out gamma shine, X-rays, neutrons. The suits they got on are not going to protect them from it. And these are the homeless and the destitute and the immigrants. Not the guy without the mask. That's me. 50-50 would be like 50% of these people being in this spot as highly radioactive in 10 or 20 years will end up with cancer because they protested nuclear in this spot. So what they're talking about is if you go to some spots in Fukushima, it's a 50-50 chance of getting cancer. It's actually much, much, much more sinister than that. 500 millisieverts in some of these corridors could easily be that corridor and was those corridors. We got the numbers, yeah? Tokyo University expert, cancer or illness from Fukushima radiation will be in 5 or 10 years. And this is a disaster affecting all residents of Japan, yeah? 5 or 10 years inhaling it, but these guys are getting X-rays, neutrons, and gamma shine. They're all dead. Yeah, they're dead. And you're already hearing reports of kids suffering heart attacks. These are deadly heart attacks. It's like something sinister, like someone's creeping into your house and murdering your children, except it takes a little while before it shows up. Yeah, it really is sinister. You don't need a military reactor for nuclear to rain out in your community, but it kind of helps. Yeah, radiation and health specialists, children with over 11 becquerels a kilogram of cesium. Now, to put that into perspective, when they talk about cesium, they're only talking about one isotope, right? Let me see if I can find this cesium and all of this shit. Oh, where's he to? There he is. So look at all the daughters of cesium. They're normally only talking about 137. You can't see jack shit because Dana didn't jump. So there's your isotopes of cesium. They're only talking about the 137, right? I already brought it up for you. You just couldn't see it. So it's 300-year half-life. But look at all the other daughters, right? Americium would have been, the daughters would have all been there too. Neptunian would have been there at the same time. All the daughters. Right? So 11 becquerels a kilogram of cesium, they're only talking about the 137. They're not actually talking about cesium that we talk about. And the radiation in Tokyo has been continuously high since raining on March the 21st. That was April the 18th. That means it didn't go away. Think about Japan's radioactive children will be fine. Think about that statement. Think about someone saying 100 millisievert is not dangerous. Tim Worsall makes a living on lying. He makes a living saying it's like a banana and a potato chip. For decades. Yeah, for decades and decades and decades, this man has made a freaking unimaginable, unbelievable fortune propagating lies like that out there. Like for children, nuclear industry says, oh, just wash it off. You'll be okay. You can only wash off maybe 10%. It's on your food you're going to ingest. It's in your water you're drinking it. It's in your milk. Your kids are consuming it. And it is. And it is. Look at the different isotopes that we're talking about. So it's not just like a single isotope that you're going to have to worry about. You have to worry about thousands of these creatures. Shaken with anger. People lying about the effects of internal and external radiation. Here's CBS faking being inside of Building 4 in Fukushima, claiming everything is...
of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
At the end of our tour, we were checked for radiation exposure. In 4 hours, I received the equivalent of less than a chest x-ray.
So, like, this person is mentally ill. What he done there is a crime against humanity. What he done there is the most dangerous thing imaginable. The collusion, the relationship, the collusive relationship between government and nuclear power industry is frightening. They're completely out of control, like O'Leary. But the nuclear industry has captured your universities, your institutions. So 40,000 microsieverts per hour in a supermarket in Tokyo. I'm going to yell now. 40,000 microsieverts, that's where your Geiger counter screams, run! Just leave me behind and run, is what your Geiger counter. So a government study, children living near nuclear power plants have double leukemia, higher incidences of solid cancers, because the reactors can't prevent the radiation from escaping. Double leukemia rate for children, pretty good price to pay, you ask me. Dana. Okay. Radioactive strontium detected at 2 more locations, approaching levels in the most contaminated area in Fukushima and 250 kilometers away. If you actually look at the building, I can't see how that could surprise anybody, you know? Well, fear that Fukushima fallout affected Tokyo. Like, I don't know how they can say they worried it got to Tokyo when we know it went right around the planet in 40 days and everybody was sucking it in, including all the animals. And all the children in the playgrounds and schools. The radiation spread further than Japan government acknowledged. Oh, Jesus, if you had any idea. This is NOAA's model based upon a 40-day release from a single reactor. We're going to come over in a little tiny bit, run through the reactors. We're almost to the end of the show. When you have a meltdown, everything is a hot particle. How could you not include a hot particle in this article? Right, to see the bottom, hot particles not included. Fukushima risk underestimated 5% of the young girls. 5% of the young girls. It's a lot worse than that, folks. All this talk about radiation is only helping the enemies. You people are traitors. It's just a meltdown, damn it. Yeah. That's because Japan, NPR, the nuclear regulatory in Japan, and Japan's paranoid. and guinea pigs is the better way to look at it. They had a lot of radiations. In Korea, they closed 140 schools. California had 10 times more. Never even told the children. Never even warned anybody. When the Fukushima showed up in the West Coast 4 days after the accident, never stopped coming out. It wasn't just a single plume. We'll cover that in a little tiny bit. The most radioactive area is the Cascade Mountains. Portland has cesium at 100 becquerels a square meter. Let's bring up cesium. So it had cesium-137 at 100 becquerels. It would have had strontium-90, 100 times more strontium-90. Strontium-86, I think there's like 30 times more for every cesium. And all of these daughters, once again, you would have had plutonium, you would have had americium, you would have had neptunium. And the reactors run on uranium. You would have had all of their daughters, all their byproducts, the radiated ones from the chain reaction, from the fission product. You would have had all of that. When you have one, you assume all of these, or many of these, are going to be there. You don't assume the opposites. You assume exactly that because that is what has happened. You assume all of this is going to be there. That's the way it works. That's why these tables exist. That's why we talk about it. That's why these are the radioactive daughters that are similar to the stuff from the solar system. Yummy. Let's keep going. We're almost through it. Bring up some bumper. Government trying to avoid mass panic. Now, we covered a couple of these headlines yesterday, but we went through 100. I wanted to do well on a few and bring in a few extras. It's not okay to live there then. It's not okay to live there now. Stanford publication, where TV experts pay to say Fukushima radiation had a small leak.
Of the decommissioning taking place.
Here's your evidence.
At the end of our tour,
here's
we were
more
checked
evidence.
for radiation exposure.
So what you ended up with was a betrayal, yeah? The whole history is based upon betrayal. Think about how it gets in your body, in your thyroid, gets into your lungs when you're breathing. It goes in your spleen, screws up your white blood cells, mutates them. Your kidney destroys it. It goes in your bones where it's mutating stem cells again. It's in your liver, for women, the ovaries, in your muscles. You get it in your food, the clothing that you're wearing. We got to come up with ways around that, yeah? I tell you, it's like walking in sunshine, like potatoes and like bananas in your food and your water. It's in the rocks all around you. And they've been doing it for 70 years, just manipulating you and deceiving you and twisting everything to suit them, to keep this deception, this unbelievable, demented, that they can't keep it forever. Right? They can't keep the lie alive much longer. No matter how hard they try, they cannot keep the lie alive, is the problem. They're running out of places to put nuclear. They're running out of people to lie about nuclear. A few days back, you remember me, Kathleen Higley, talking about the radiation experts. I can't bring that up today, even though it should be right there. Radiation experts. Who are the radiation experts?
Our own U.S. NCRP. And then there are a number of other organizations. So there's PAHO, there's the Health Physics Society, there's World Health Organization,
But
all
generally,
of these, a whole bunch more. But Health Physics Society, ICRP,
I jumped ahead.
Certified Health Physicist, I've
Wait
got
for it.
NCRP on there, I've done IAEA. And so the point is,
Here.
we're a small group, you should cherish us.
Right, it's a small group that are manipulating everybody. The media turns to them and pukes up sunshine, bananas, sleeping next to someone, potato chips, climbing mountains, flying on plane, and their favorites. Radiation is everywhere, and radiation is good for you. But that person treats children for cancer. And whose obligation is it to flush it out? Whose obligation is it to tell the truth, to say, hey, wait, 3 million children required permanent treatment because it's Chernobyl. And the Chernobyl core is still melting down into the earth. And that these people were thrown away like paper towels. That we used the munitions in war is the crime against every species on the planet. Look at the polar bears being emaciated, same as all the whales emaciated. Look at the lie where they say, look to the left, not to the right. Ignore the detonation, believe the lie on the right. Ignore the picture, believe the lie on the right. Believe the media. Don't call the media out for showing the fake pictures on the right. Don't cause trouble. Don't point fingers. Don't say, hey, wait a second. Don't say that Seth is not inside of a building that doesn't exist. Don't do stuff like that. You know, if you say gullible really, really slow, it sounds like oranges, yeah? But there's your result. That is what ends up happening. That is not a way forward. That is the past, yeah? Okay. Let's do it. Let's call it a night. Let's call it a day. Let's call it a week. Let's call it an hour. Let's call it a minute. Let's call it something. Let's not forget that we were here. Let's not forget. I don't know, Elaine. My cord broke. I got to order in a new cord. Check my Geiger counter. Great time for it to break after the Uncover Unit 1. Hello, everybody. Neil, Fix It, CJ, Elaine, Amthirst, Crystal. Hi, everybody. Hugs, everybody. Ellie, take care, everybody. Been a busy week, crazy week. Not sure if I can do this again next week. You know how hard it is to do the things I do. I probably will do it again next week. I don't doubt it. I want everybody to remember that you have to support me if you can. You have to find a way forward. I don't know how to do it without expanding. I don't know how to do it when we got all the whales dying on the coastline. I don't know how to do it when there's so much things that need to be done. I don't know, and I don't care about my personal life or my life in the context of having a life. I care about the future. I care about the other 8 million species on this planet. I care about you, and I care about your friends and your hopes and your dreams and your loved ones. And they are first. I'm second. I'm last. I'm only saying it that way because that is what gives me the energy to make it through every day, is that I have to fight for everybody that don't fight for themselves because they don't understand. It's not their fault. Hugs for everybody. We'll see everybody Monday. If you can donate, you'll find the links below. You can donate at thenuclearproctologist.org and PayPal. Links below at Beautiful Girl by Dana, YouTube. Take care, folks.